Ariel Helwani in Boston, just days away now from UFC Fight Night Boston, alongside Uriah Hall, who meets Ron Stallings this Saturday on the Fox Sports 1 main card. Uriah, thank you for the time. It has been quite the journey to get here. Two opponents pull out, the most recent one just a few days ago. How frustrating has this whole process been for you?
It's not really frustrating. You just stay ready, that's all. I'm not really changing anything. Shit happens, you know?
Are you the kind of guy who even pays attention to your opponent? You got a guy like Cerrone who says he never even watches his opponent, so then something like this wouldn't really bother him. Do you fall into that category?
Absolutely, I do fall into that category. Me personally, I don't like to. In a weird way, it feels like I'm cheating a little almost, but it makes me feel good going out there and beat you not knowing anything. That's just the thrill of it for me.
Why cheating, though? Because, in this day and age, watching film, breaking down your opponent in any sport is a very big part of it.
It is a big part of it, but it's like a real fight. You don't really know anything if you're in a real fight. So to take it to its full potential, that's just my idea of not really looking at an opponent, to just not worry about him. And I think it takes away from myself, because then I start to focus more on his skill set than mine.
You ever hear of Ron Stallings before?
Honestly, I haven't really heard of him until Dana pretty much told me that we got somebody. But I want to thank him for taking the fight in such a short notice. No one would step up to the plate. Two guys punked out, and he was mad enough to do it, so I got to respect that.
You used the word punked out, which is an interesting word. I mean, do you feel like they backed out because they were afraid, they didn't want to fight you, and not because they had an issue, an injury, something like that?
Well, I don't make excuses. If I'm hurt, I'll still perform. I mean, I have injuries too, and I still train on it. It doesn't bother me. It's a fight. I don't bitch about it. So, yeah, they punked out.
One might say that this is a lose-lose for you, because everyone expects you to win, and then and if you win, it's like, all right, well, we thought you were going to win. And then if you lose to the guy, everyone's like, oh, wow. So did you ever think about maybe not taking this fight and waiting for a fight that made more sense to you?
No, because you know what? At the end of the day, it's all about me. Fans are going to have their own critiques. Reporters are going to have their own critiques. I frankly don't give a shit. I'm here to fight, so let's just get it on.
And do you feel like, speaking of the media and the fans, people view you a little differently since your last fight, the heart that you showed in that fight, that you were able to fight through everything you were dealing with? Do you feel like people have a different take on you now?
I feel like they definitely had a different take on it. All of a sudden I broke a toe, and they were like, oh, my God, this guy is hard because he broke his toe and kept going. But that attitude has always been in me, man. I'm a karate guy, and we were taught in karate to endure pain and fight through it and overcome that. And for me with karate, it's like life, It's not just the fighting aspect, it's life too. So I just took it into par and just worked hard and just focused on what I was there for.
How long did it take for the toe to get back to 100%?
I was back in training next week. I was getting yelled at, but that's just my mentality. A toe couldn't slow me down. Being that I was back in training a little faster, it slowed down the process of healing, so I had to take more time off. I flew out to California. I worked with my sports med guy, and started camp a little early and just, do some rehab. But I feel great. I can walk. My balance is better. I can kick with it now. It feels good.
You're obviously very focused, and it's what's the task at hand. Can you put us into your mind for a second, 2 days before the fight? Like, what do you think? What kind of mental state are you in before you're about to engage in battle?
I'm glad you asked that question. I actually just saw a video on Donald Cerrone, and he was talking about the anticipation of the fight. You watch that video, it'll explain everything.
You echo all his sentiments.
Everything. Like, what he was saying, I was feeling. I thought I was the only one, but it makes sense, and I'm like, wow. I actually have a lot more respect for this guy now just because of that. So
the fear, the anxiety, the ups and downs.
The anxiety, ups and downs. You're back at the room. You start to feel weak. Nothing makes sense. You're walking out. You're like, oh, my God, should I smile? Should I make a hard face? I'm scared to death. I'm going in the ring. The crowd is yelling. The crowd is cheering. They're booing. And then you feel like that's anxiety, and then that bell ring is boom. So
you enjoy the process, though?
I definitely enjoy the process, because me personally, it's all about the journey.
Right.
And, I'm different, man. I'm no Connor. I don't need to trash talk people. I'm no other these guys. I don't do that shit, and that's fine. In the public eye, I'm not that dude. I'm just that sentimental, nice dude that wears heart on his sleeve and a bitch or whatnot. I don't care. But, again, at the end of the day, I'm chasing something I believe in. And, I think if I can inspire someone or make an impact, that worth a lot more than just talking shit. Be like, yeah, I like that guy. He's a good fighter. Fuck that. I get to change someone's life and uplift them. I look at it that way, as a positive mindset.
You're right next to Connor. What do you make of him?
Nothing really. I mean, he's good at what he does. You know, he talks his game up. But what I was telling someone yesterday, what I learned about Conor, if you step aside from all the bullshit and all that shit he's saying, he actually makes sense because he's saying what he's thinking. You know, if I'm saying to you, yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass and kick your ass and doing all that, people could say it in their head, but he's just saying it out loud. There's no difference. He's just saying out loud, and he's embracing that role. He's embracing that moment, and he's showing and letting you know, yeah, I am gonna knock you out. So, you know, it's just stepping aside from the second and be like, all right, let me not look at the bullshit and all that and see what I can gain. And that's what I gained from him. So from that perspective, I respect him, but that's just his way. You know, we're all different. He does it differently. I do it differently. He's growing fast. He's making fans. He's doing all this stuff. I'm just doing my own thing. I'm enjoying it.
Thank you very much, Uriah. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.